Mm. 1, 2, 3, light. Hello, welcome to my tiny little tube. My name is Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I don't know. I'm trying not to freaking feel too much. I'm doing a cleanse. Sometimes I don't partake in medicinal practices, plant medicine to help my pain. Sometimes some days I abstain, some days I go several days. I just had an interesting thing happen that there's these two ladies that pulled in, and they were looking for something on Craigslist, and it's like 3 streets up that way. So it sent them. The daughter was driving. She's like, it sent us right to here, and I said, well, let me see, and I look at, oh, you're close, it's right up there. So I hope they find they're nice people, but they're pulling in. A couple people are pulling in, and I'm just like, I don't get a lot of company, so I'm just like, what's this about? Well, I greeted them with the smile on my face, and that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm just trying to. I struggle with it, man. I struggle with it. I struggle. Some days I just struggle. So anyway, I called this talk inclusion with membership required. It's one of my biggest pet peeves is when people, I'm a spiritualist. Not a spiritualist doesn't mean that people are practicing for God. Spiritualists can be freaking, a white witch. Spiritualist can be a black witch. Warlocks. All that pagan stuff. That's all spiritual. When you believe in things outside yourself. It's that vibrational frequency of what people do with what they got, their power. And a lot of times I'm seeing in this society people are put in positions of authority to hinder instead of help. That drives me crazy. I don't see, because everything that I know as far as spirituality and everything that I try to share with my own, because I've been freaking looking for answers my whole life since I was a little girl. And the more I find out, the more I realize I don't know much. I really don't know much. So what was I going to talk? Oh, I was going to talk about this. I was shown today by something they're doing here in New Mexico, up here in Taos Lake House, and there's this video. This guy showed me this video from on YouTube. Burnt Roots. They're a local group of women here, and they're inviting everybody out this weekend to set their positive intention and pray for whatever it is, to help heal the world and all this stuff. And they tell me their website is burnroots.com. So I go to burntroots.com and scroll down, and I'm like, day pass, Saturday only, $50. So I guess I'm spirituality for the poor people, because I don't charge what other people charge for what they know, and I bet we know a lot of the same stuff. I bet I might even know a little bit more than them. But I always share for fun and for free, and then if people want to give me something, because that's how energy works. I know a lot about energy. I've been keeping track. I'm one of those. I keep track. People say you're not supposed to keep track. Love doesn't keep track and all this stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not here for that. I'm here for energetic awareness. And when you're a little kid and you have the little kid that goes around and just shares. You want some of my chips? Whenever they got something, whoever they see, they share with them. That's a heart space, and if that little being, that little spirit is strong enough in its conviction, it's going to grow always towards the generous heart space, right? And then you have, that's what I call growing towards spirit, growing towards light. And then you have people, what else grows that's in each and every one of us? Ego. Now there's ways that people can overshoot the mark and be too much of something. I always try to stay right down the middle of the road. That's why I try never to get too excited about anything or too mad about anything, because that's an imbalance. And I know that's why I meditate. Today I meditated about an hour. That's why I spend so much time in a meditate state, because if I'm disciplined enough, and if I can take, whatever angst I have in me or whatever comes out in the world, and know that I can be at one with Creator, Source, God, Holy Spirit, all things divine, and know that peace, that in whatever situation that happens, I can tap into that peace. Yeah. And more people meditated, man, this whole world would be an entirely different place. Oh. It's changing. I know it's changing. I wrote new stuff on my windows, and I did it this morning. Then I went to the coffee shop, and here, I'll just show folks here, since I can, since I'm on my laptop. So I don't know if you can read it, but it says, politicians are all thieves and liars. Most are grossly obese. 2, fitness standards for all city, state, and federal employees. We shouldn't have to pay for you to eat your feelings. Then we got that one. This is the one that gets pictures taken of it about every day. And I got my old standby. When has the government ever said anything true? 911 was done to Americans by Americans that are still walking free every day. Because justice, that is not for the rich. Because there's very little consequence for the elite. But according to Twitter, I'm seeing a lot on Twitter, more and more exposure, man. I sent Key Jin last night a link. She did a video about it with Dean Martin. He was just totally wasted on the Tonight Show. Go ahead and check it out, and you can decide for yourself. And then I get ideas, and then I'm like, you know what I haven't talked about in a while? Why don't we talk about this? See, because everybody wants to know who's in charge. And there's a few different groups. It's just power hungry. It's just power hungry groups, I listen to a lot of Zachary K. Hubbard on Gematria Effects News and whatnot, and he talks about the Jesuits. Well, I know firsthand quite a bit about the Jesuits, because I worked at Creighton University. I have one business card left. I saved one for nostalgia. It's in my dresser. Marge, student support desk analyst, Creighton University. And people don't really care about what they worship. They just do what they told. And people will believe in what their parents believe in, because their parents told them to believe in it, and on and on and on. And I've never been that way. So I sent this to Jesse Zaboter too. I wonder why isn't it loading? There it is. The Jesuit Oath detailed. I'll just read a little bit. There's only 6 pages, and at the bottom there's some pictures of stuff that they like to do too. Hi, Hillbilly. So I'll just read a little bit. And they even have it freaking outlined in red. So just to give you a preface at the top here. There it goes. Here it is. And there's their little logo. Yeah. The following is the text of the Jesuit Extreme Oath of Induction as recorded in the journals of the 62nd Congress, 3rd Session of the United States Congressional Record, House Calendar number 397, report number 1523, 15th February, 1913. Page 3215 through 3216, from which it was subsequently torn out. The oath was also quoted by Charles Didier in his book Subterranean Rome, New York in 1843, translated from the French original. The Jesuit torture, terror, and murder of the Aborigine is still happening all across. All that means is the darker persuasion. That's what my interpretation is. Um, it's still happening all across the earth under the colonial operators dictated by the Catholic Roman Curia and institutionalized and carried out by their policy performers, presidents, governors, judges, magistrates, police, sheriffs, attorneys, clergy, i.e. priests, ministers, pastors, preachers, etc. Dr. Alberto Riviera, who escaped from the Jesuit order in 1967, confirms that the induction ceremony and the title of the Jesuit oath which he took were identical to what we have cited below. I just kind of feel like reading the yellow parts. But it's not that long. I could read the whole thing. But I hate when freaking people just read shit on the interwebs. Drives me crazy. Let's see. And then, I could put the link in the freaking copy. Put it in the, see if I can find my, where's my other channel? Oh, there I am. I took that picture of the thumbnail last night. It looked freaking really, really cool. Here, I'll put it in there. Maybe I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in the description box. That's what I'll do. I'm not going to put it in the chat. I'll put it in the description box. So, as I'll read a little bit more. This, when a Jesuit of the minor rank is to be elevated to command, he is conducted into the chapel of the convent of the order, where there are only 3 others present, the principal or superior standing in front of the altar. Everything's ritual, man. But what are these people for? That's the thing. I tell people all the time, I will not kill an animal, harm an animal, do nothing weird to no kids or any other adult or human being or weird stuff as divination tools. That is where I'm like, I won't do it. You can't, I don't care what freaking boards people get, what benefits they get. I'm not going to do that gross stuff. Because you don't get to harm people to get your own advantage. It's not what God intended. Let's see. This is more interesting down here. Here's what the superior says. I'll read that and then I'll be done and I'll move on to something else. My son, herefore you have been taught to act the dismember. Among Roman Catholics, to be a Roman Catholic, so basically they're telling him he has to act like a Roman Catholic and to be a spy even amongst your own brethren. To believe no man, to trust no man among the reformers, to be a reformer. Amongst the Huguenots, to be a Huguenot, amongst the Calvinists, to be a Calvinist, amongst the Protestants, generally to be a Protestant, and obtaining their confidence to seek, even to preach from their pulpits, and to denounce with all the vehemence in your nature our holy religion and the Pope, and even to descend so low as to become a Jew among Jews, that you might be enabled to gather together all information for the benefit of your order as a faithful soldier of the Pope. You have been taught to plant insidiously the seeds of jealousy and hatred between communities, provinces, states that were at peace, and to incite them to deeds of blood, involving them in war with each other, and to create revolutions and civil wars in countries that were independent and prosperous, cultivating the arts and the scientists, enjoying the blessings of peace, to take sides with the combatants and to act secretly with your brother Jesuit, who might be engaged on the other side, but openly opposed to that with which you might be connected, only that the church might be the gainer in the end. In the conditions fixed in these treaties for peace, and that the end justifies the means. Oh, is that where that come from? You have been taught your duty as a spy to gather all statistics, facts, and information in your power from every source to ingratiate yourself into the confidence of family circle of Protestants and heretics of every class and character, as well as that of all the merchants, the bankers, the lawyers, amongst the schools and universities and parliaments and legislators and judiciaries and councils of state, and to be all things to all men for the Pope's sake, whose servants are unto death. Then it actually gives the whole thing of what they're the text of the oath down below. Last part I'm going to read. I do further promise and declare that. Hold on. I'm reading this an example. I'm not making this declaration. Just so people know. Quote, I do further promise and declare that I will, when opposition presents, make and wage relentless war, secretly or openly, against all heretics, Protestants, and Masons, as I am directed to extirpate and exterminate them from the face of the whole earth, and that I will spare neither age, sex, nor condition, and that I will burn, hang, waste, boil, flay, that means peel the skin off, strangle, bury alive these infamous heretics, open up the stomachs and wombs of their women, and crush their infants. Oh, so you, in case you're wondering, that's why they allow late-term abortions. In case you're wondering. Okay. Wombs of their stomachs, and crush their infants' heads against the walls in order to alienate their excruciable race. That when the same cannot be done openly, I will secretly use the poison cup and strangulation cord, the steel of poniard, and the leaden bullet, regardless of the honor, rank, dignity, or authority of the persons, wherever be their condition in life, either public or private, as I at any time may be directed to do so by any agent of the Pope or superior of the Brotherhood of the Holy. This is what, so Jesuit Catholics, the priests that are this is the oath that they take. Now, if you go and you look at the politicians, like the dude that didn't get recalled in California, look where they all go to school. They all go to Jesuit university. They all went to Jesuit universities. And then it's like they hire their buddies. And then when things are good, they're like, let's fuck some shit up just because we can. Do a bunch of coke, eat some glands, do whatever, and just ruin some people's fucking lives, yeah. You know? Even freaking DT, sorry to break it to you folks, DT, he's a Jesuit too. It's just a game, man. It's a game. So people need to stop paying attention to that bullshit. Just like the little bratty kindergartner, you know, that's throwing a fit. If you fucking ignore them, they'll stop acting that way. So people need to get in your local communities and make things really freaking cool where you are. Yeah, but there's politicians and stuff there too. They don't all suck. I don't think they all suck. I don't think everybody that is in positions, I don't think that. I don't believe that. I think that a lot of people just do what they're supposed to do because they're told to. And I follow rules, safety rules, you know. And I felt like the golden rule, that's a good rule to follow, you know. I try not to do harm to people. I yell at people. I flip people off. I did this morning, you know. I ain't always the love and light in the world, and for people that are preaching love and light, you got to feel good all the time. High vibration. Wait until you are taxed with a low vibrational incident and see how you get back up there. You know, life knocks you down, you get back up. There's a lot of people that don't. There's a lot of people that have stayed down. Stay down. Do what you're told. Stay down. I've had one cold in 15 years. I ain't worried about it. And the falseness, the false reporters, The false for profits is what I call them. Anybody in the news, media, stuff like, you're paying to do a job, but you're getting paid to do a job, but it doesn't mean you're telling the truth. And I'm seeing all these. Have you guys seen the story about that? I'm fascinated by that story about that 22-year-old girl who went on a trip with her boyfriend, I-80 all the way out, and they made it as far as Wyoming. August 24th, my dog and my brother's birthday, was the last day her mom heard from her. She wasn't even sure it was a text from her. Oh boy, her boyfriend shows up in the minivan that they were living in back in Florida, no sign of her. And it's also, it's just, see, that's the thing is it's the significant other is always the main, and there's like no word. He just went home, dumped the van, dropped off the van in Florida. It got impounded. He went home and got a lawyer, and says, and his and their family aren't letting the law at him, that they can all go through the lawyer. This is the stuff that just has to stop, man. Dude, you killed your freaking girlfriend. The world's gonna find out. You got mad. She was probably being too friendly to the person behind the counter. You got freaking jealous, crime of passion, freaking, pushed her down, hit her head in a rock. Oh, it was an accident. You didn't mean it. You better come forward and freaking profess, It'll do you better in the long run. So, anyway. What else was I going to talk about? Talked a little bit about the Jesuit oath. It's just, it's just people that freaking like ruining things, People just like to wreck things. And I've known them my whole life. I can sit in a room and I'm like a freaking radio and I tune into these people. And I'm just like, dude, you're a wackadoo, man. You do some weird stuff behind the scenes, man. Because I've been around these people. I've been touched by the hands of these wicked human beings as a very young age. They not as an adult. That's the thing is they do things to kids to freaking break their spirit, literally break their spirit. When people dissociate, dissociating when something traumatic happens. That's why they do that stuff, because they are taking from the person, the version of who they could have been. But now, after this event, it has changed them in a frequential way. It has changed your vibration. Once people know what terror is, trauma, freaking all that stuff that is just super scary. I don't go to scary movies because I've lived it. And people that like that stuff, man, that's an imbalance oven by itself. No. I was ruined. Someone showed me a couple snuff films when I was young, and I'm like, no, because I believe all, shared collective consciousness. And these movies, they're based on actual events more than they let you know. But when it happens in real life, they just use it as a defense. Use it only happens in the movies. That's their defense. People are figuring it out. I think people are figuring it out. This is the Great Awakening, man. I've been talking about it for years. I just have been skeptical and have been void of faith that because I haven't seen a lot of people make good choices in life, but does not mean that people can't change. At the same times, that's why I try to stay diligent in my spiritual practice, because I can go right back to living from ego like that in an instant, comparing my insides to other people's outsides and being mad about it. Let's see what we got going on the chalk. Hey! Yeah, they're all the secret societies, and that's why I'm like, if people aren't all about full disclosure, then they're up to no good. And there is no middle. I thought it was so weird. I got I used to go to AA meetings in Omaha, And the Christmas party, it's the biggest fundraiser that they have, is at the freaking Scottish Rite Freemason Lodge this year. And I'm just like, dude, thank you for verifying my belief system. Thank you for already showing me what I already believe. And I see, and that's the thing, and that's the part that freaking makes me so mad. Because I know a lot of good people that freaking love Creighton and love going to their basketball games, and they're freaking, they just want to support local and in the name of God. But you have those interjectors, and in their mind, they're like, we got all these people. They think they're for God, but they're really all their life force energy, all the effort and all the money that they spend on tickets and the energy just going down to the games and sitting there during the games instead of doing, something productive, watching the same thing back and forth, but it's not for the right heart space. But people can change that. People can change that. I got a $2,000 freaking lien on my credit because of Creighton. I paid my Rogue down from $1,750. I think I owed like $1,600 left on it, and I couldn't get a job in Oregon, and rent was $1,200, and I didn't have any income, and so something had to go, so that I couldn't make the car payment. And they came and got it now, and I cleaned it all up for them, washed it, vacuumed it out, got it all ready, and yeah, 2000. That's what they, It just, it's what power and control does. People, that's why we're not gonna have heaven on earth, man. We're not gonna have like government sponsored like tiny communities and stuff like that. They already don't want it to happen. They just want to freaking trim the fat. And you keep people in desperation, you will always be trimming the fat, because you keep keep people in neglected state. That perpetuates the prison system. They don't really have like freaking nut wards much anymore, but they used to have a lot more for people with mental health issues. But to me, it's just all imbalancement. I don't think that there's anything. I don't think there's any human being beyond repair. Everybody can do a 180. But people don't want to take responsibility for the behavior that they did in their own lives. They don't want to come clean. So the truth always comes out. I don't like when there's no clouds in the sky either. I have a hard time with it. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm trying to make things better here where I live, slowly but surely. Slowly but surely, I'm trying to make things better where I live. But you got a lot of people that are stuck in the same. It's hard to motivate people that have just always done the same thing. Nobody likes the outsider that comes in and says, "Hey, you should do it this way. You should do it this way." Nobody likes that. I'm a Heyoka. I'm all of these characteristics that people just don't like. I am. Always have been. Because if I tell the truth, people don't like people that tell the truth, because then the expectation might fall on their lap too. People don't want to. They want to live in their secrets. I don't get it. But they do. In those secrets, that's what kill, man. People do stuff. They feel bad about the stuff that they do. Just feeling bad, man. God, I gotta omit energy all day long of just feeling bad. But people go through life just harming people. God, there's flies all over the place. They keep flying by the camera. Hi, Mama Kitty. This Mama Kitty, she comes over, gets some food, gets some water. A guy today told me about a place that a woman that helps people get all their cats spayed and neutered, because people don't spay and neuter their pets around here, and it gets out of hand. So I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of her and promote what she does, and maybe people will help her more. Who knows? I don't know. I always think about if money were no object. And I'll ask every now and again on Facebook, I'll ask that. What would you do if money was no object? How would you get what you needed in life? How barter, trade? I mean, what do people have to offer? And a lot of people, oh, I could have sex with you. Dude, there's plenty of us in the world. We're sexual beings, but monogamy is more significant than any chase and sensation, you know. And I've never been of the promiscuous variety, because one day I want to be in a kind and loving relationship. And when I talk about how I've behaved in my life, I don't want to give accounts of where I was a freaking trashy freaking slut bag, So I just keep out of those situations, because I always knew that one day I'd meet a nice girl, and even though I hadn't met her yet, if I was with people that I wasn't supposed to be with, in my heart that's still cheating in a kind of way. Yeah. So I think a lot of things that people don't think. That's why my numbers are small. I'm back down under 950 again, 948. I lost 5 in the last couple. And it's just like, well, I don't know. I wish people would leave comments to let me know what it was that I said. What was the thing? What was the thing that makes you say, no, don't want to listen to this bitch no more? Yeah. So people I run to around town and stuff like that, it's cool, because we have the same belief systems. And I was and I already got some more support than I feel like I had in other places that I live. I was talking to a guy today, and I'm like, yeah, we got, time goes by so fast. I'm always thinking, because we only got here until like next summer, like June. That time frame is when I'm really going to start finding. By then, the housing bubble should pop by then. But what was I saying? My train of thought just totally derailed. So I was telling my buddy today, I'm like, yeah, I need to start, and I got a lot of people that have their ears out and stuff, because I can buy a crappy place and fix it up. There ain't nothing I can't make better, under the right circumstances. So, and I got help, and my buddy's like, well, come time I'll help you move. And I'm like, thanks, man. Oh yeah, I'll put you to work. I don't have that much stuff. I just have a bunch of totes and not a lot of furniture, mostly the dresser and like the TV for mom. I already have it planned out, is wherever we go, I'll get her there first, set up the TV, and have her watch Longmire and stuff, and then I'll come back, and with the dogs, and then I'll come back, and I just got to try and make the stuff as smooth as I can for her. She gets so stressed. She's reaching a different level right now. She's coming in. She's changing. Her mind is changing. So in the evening, she's having more trouble with stuff. It's just it's just interesting. But I've been familiar with people that have had traumatic brain injuries my whole life. So you don't always get the same people that you start out with. And it doesn't always take a traumatic brain injury to change somebody either. But that's what this world is about, evolving. But what are people evolving to? That's the part that's freaking scary to me, man. What are people evolving to? Anyway, I think that's about all I got. I ran my mouth long enough. Had to do a gratitude list today. Take myself out of a situation, walk over, sit down, and do a gratitude list. All, just everything I can think of. Everything I can think of, because when I am out of gratitude, that is when my ego has a tendency to freaking, when there's a way that I feel like that there's a way that I need to have, that's an ego thing. And right now Venus is in freaking Libra, Mars is in Libra, and it is not comfortable for me. I do not like it. I don't. How about the kitten? We got the baby kitten over here. We got the baby kitten over here. We got the baby kitten, baby kitten.